Our next Latina geek is Martha Hernandez with madeBOS. Yeah, we actually had a couple changes to the program. Nudia could not join us tonight, but we do have Marissa Lucero, so she'll be standing in very, very last minute edition.
Oh great, it doesn't let me fun. We can do that towards the end anyway.
Cirrus, looking for Cirrus?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I can do it without the mic, but I know that you're recording. My name is Marta Hernandez, and I've actually worked in the retail industry for almost 10 years, in service and hospitality, altogether 15 years. And one of the things that I found most interesting in the talent management and talent acquisition world is that both the applicant and the manager have difficulty with the process. The applicant thinks they should get the job, and the manager thinks somebody else should get the job. The grass is greener on the other side. And so I am the founder and CEO of madeBOS. And what we do is really solve solutions for organizations that have high turnover. And this is not just any turnover, but specifically turnover in low-wage jobs. Sorry, it's the entertainer in me. I want to be over there. In retail, growing and developing as a professional is really messy. In fact, the reason why most people leave within a year, out of 10 that are hired, 7 leave, because they think there's no opportunity to grow. Half of those that leave because of that. And so what we do is we switch responsibility from the employer-based growth and development model into the employee. We know that they spend tons of money, millions, in retaining employees, and it's still not working. Globally, it's still an issue. We add transparency and alleviate the manager from being biased in who they select and who they promote. And through that, I'm going to show you the product and how it works. So think about this as Noemi, who is a cashier at Walmart. I'm going to end the show now and show you. She's going to go into the madeBOS app, and she's going to take a quick assessment based on talent, not on skill and not on interest, purely talent. She's going to answer a couple questions, and eventually she's going to get to what we call the actual profile. So in her profile, she can see her 5 most critical and most exciting talents. She can look at her career fit within the organization she's at. She's at Walmart. She can make a selection, and in this case, she's going to select the mobile developer, pays her well, and she doesn't have to stay in school for that much longer. And then we actually give her an individualized development plan that meets her where she's at in her career. She can then look within Walmart, what are those opportunities that she can essentially get, and look into the job market. Walmart has a couple of openings right now, and she can either decide to be a part of the talent pool for future or look at who within Walmart, other than her boss, is an influencer and can help her get there. And so through this matching, they can both actually rate themselves based on the information that they're giving each other, more so for the employee, into the opportunities and resources that are out. I do want to close with giving you a little bit of information about the model and everything else, but I know that we have time for questions later. So let's go into that slide. I've been doing this, I've said it for several years, and over 25,000 interviews, many of whom have been internal candidates. We've actually put them through the madeBOS methodology, and we've been able to get people that did not get the job in the first time at an 80% closing rate on the second time they applied for the job, so we know it works. We're using, since we've been doing it one-on-one, we're now using, once we go live, obviously machine learning, and really understand what are the common denominators for people to grow and develop in that particular industry. We have a business model that is both B2C and B2B, We focus on B2B right now because we do have customers that are already interested in our product. In the user, anyone can download it eventually, but we will be charging them to actually get the plan on how to get there. The market is huge. Even at a 5%, we would be a $2 billion company. Our competition, what's really interesting about what they do versus what we do, is that they're employer driven. It's the employer, the manager giving you the plan, and then you kind of following that. So if it's not fitting, and if you don't have the time to do it at work, then you're kind of done with that. Most products that are driven by employers are based within the job. And so we're really focusing on the millennial, I know I should get a promotion entitlement, and help you see that, that's what employers actually call it, and help you see what it actually takes to get that job or promotion. And then also for the employer to understand behavior from the user perspective so that they know who should they be focusing on in terms of growth and development internally and externally. Our goal is to create an environment where people are alumni of companies and can promote your brand as one that helped them grow. Our team is very diverse. We have Antonio, who's helped Accenture actually and many other companies go global. And from Nick has actually had a successful exit. And from our advisors, we're really excited to have many who understand the industry from a talent management perspective, and also who know more so the individuals that are in these low-wage jobs, which is driven by Latinas in the retail sector. Questions?
Great presentation. Good job, Martha. Okay, I'm kicking it off. So what is it that you are asking from the SF New Tech community and Latina Geeks community?
Thank you. So we've actually been really busy with companies interested, not just in retail. I mean, we are getting calls from companies in construction. They don't know how to support their employees to go and get new certifications and then grow. We got a call from Abra. I didn't show that one, but this is a company that's grown from 250 body shop locations to 1,000 locations, and they need support in developing their employees, but not really having the manager tell them what to do, but they themselves taking ownership and being empowered about that learning, and also opening the opportunity to not just be reliant on the resources that the company gives you, but that you can also look at local community opportunities, and we will be providing that through our app. I am actually live right now as a model of democratizing opportunity, which is what we do at madeBOS. We're inviting the community to support us through investment. May 2016, a new law passed, and now through Securities and Commission, there's an opportunity for anyone around the world to invest in private companies. We have a live campaign now, and we've actually made our minimum goal, but you know that the more you get, the more you can do. So everyone's invited, madeBOS, under the Republic platform.
Okay, so they can find the information on your website.
Yes.
Okay, great. Any questions for Martha? Okay, way back there. Let me get my exercise.
Hey, so I saw that you mentioned about how employers can choose who to focus on. You can see what employees are more forward mobile, right? But can you speak a little bit about the trust? If you're catering to both sides, it seems, if you are focusing on employers and helping them with their needs by identifying the most brightest and best or the most motivated employees, how are employees going to trust you that you're not going to go and rat to their boss, what they want to do or what they're looking to do with their life and their career?
And that's exactly why we want to exist, because it shouldn't be this trust process. We should all be in to win. Most of the reasons why companies fail in terms of retaining employees is because there's a mentality that they should not be looking for other opportunities and they should stay with you. So if the CTO asks the CEO, why should we invest in talent? And the CEO says, well, what happens if we don't? That's exactly what we're trying to solve, that this is an opportunity for everyone to win. And so by providing this transparency, it's very important for employers to focus on the right individuals. And the right individual is not necessarily everybody, right? So it's really who's ready for that promotion. And then for you as an applicant to know that you're not one ready or that you may be ready. 70% of the promotions happen because of perception. And that's a really big deal. Guess what happens to Maria, Jose, Lupita, who work in the back? And I ask employers, why isn't that person getting promoted? What do you think the number one answer is when I speak with talent management people? They're happy. They're happy at their job. So we're removing that perception that if you show up to work smiling every day, you're actually happy in that role. Everyone should have the opportunity to grow, and it should be up to you.
Absolutely. Any other questions for Martha?
I wanted to add, this last 4 years, I've actually strategized transitioning out of an executive role, managing a team in a 17,000 employee organization, over 2 million in my department, reduce that to less than 1 million in talent acquisition management tools. This is every platform that you see potentially in the acquiring of talent or retention of talent. So from a pricing perspective, we're priced right, but from a value add perspective, we're not just going to sell this to everyone. It needs to be companies that are ready to focus and to help employees win. And so at the end of the day, strategically, they can move forward in the right direction.
Great. Oh, here we go. Question.
So I'd like to build a little bit on his question from sort of the conflict of interest. You know, you're speaking to and being employed or by these companies, but yet you talked about looking at it and approaching it from the individual perspective. So talk to me about how you manage that and what makes your offering unique from the individual perspective.
Yeah, so employees are leaving already. Right? 7 out of 10 are leaving already, and it may be your best ones. So from a company perspective, it should be pretty logical. So that's why they're seeking us. From an employee perspective, you're leaving because there's no growth pathing within your company. So within the 3 model that we've actually set out, one, the very first basic, only gives you pathing within your organization. And that's because we want to learn what is the behavior of the employee. For companies that are already sophisticated, we already know, and they might have data through their talent management systems, etc., which would integrate or work any work-related product. That we would then be very strategic about who gets information on the growth and pathing internally for people to be really focused on how they're going to grow within the organization. But one thing I think we're going to learn about the behavior itself from the employer and the employee, but something needs to get done. And that something is not just impacting retail. Retail is going to shrink in a way that's going to impact a lot of our communities. What's going to happen with all that talent? And then it's going to go to service and hospitality. And then we have employers in the tech space starve for talent. So the platform that we have right now, just from a talent base, people looking for jobs and going in there and just hoping that they get the call, does not work. We want to go deeper. So when I went in and pitched and someone said, well, that's a lot of work. That's hard work. Why don't you just do like texting and text people jobs? Everyone's doing that. Hard work needs to get done. If we want to change the narrative for people that live in poverty, particularly communities of color around the world, we need to do something different. And so I quit my job and I'm here.
You mentioned the scenario in which an employee is not satisfied with their job because they're not growing within the company. But an employee may also be not satisfied with his job because of the job environment, the task at hand, the responsibilities, lack thereof, or too many. Is that something that you're evaluating within your product, or is that something that doesn't really quite fit within what you're looking at? Because I know that you have to have a narrow vision, and if that's growth within a company, that doesn't take. But I'm wondering if you've done studies about that, and what is your approach to that issue?
Yeah, so there are many influencers into having employees happy at work. Our focus is purely about the growth and development and that individual perspective. But our collaboration is most definitely something that goes beyond tools and resources. So one example that I can give you now is we're planning to build on Salesforce. And the reason we're doing that is because then we would have a lot more access to retail, service, hospitality, our target right now, to understand their matrix and like what's going on. If the reason why people are leaving is because they don't see pathing, then we can immediately make a huge impact within that organization. Globally, even Great Place to Work actually launched a recent study, and they showed that of those that are leaving organizations, the number one reason is opportunity for growth. And so that gets almost to 50% of people that are leaving. So yeah, we may not be able to solve every issue, but if we can focus and try one of them, then we can start collaborating and understanding all the other aspects of keeping employees happy within the organization.
One more question. All right.
How is the content created against which users are profiling themselves? Is it other employees within the organization who are submitting profiles against which you or are employers developing those profiles?
Yeah, I'm going to answer that question in two ways. So from the assessment perspective, we've actually given it a lot of thought. There's tons of competition and resources out there that we could just integrate with, like a Talent Plus as an example. And all of those tools are usually targeted to sophisticated employees. Our focus is it's the employee that earns $10 to $15 an hour. So we wanted something really simple and self-driven. So the questions are based out of what's required for the job. And every job is usually driven by a job description, right? And so that job description has two key identifiers. One, within core competencies, what people should have. Core competencies, one, skill, and the other one needs to be ability. Ability is usually a natural talent. And so we're focusing on natural talent base because most of the individuals in this type of roles may not have the social capital to see themselves somewhere else. And so we want to provide that vision and that inspiration that you have the same natural talents as someone who's making 7 times more than you are, right? So you could be making 200,000 in 3 years if you build the following skill set. And that's what companies are really excited about what we have going on.
Very cool. Thank you, Martha.
Thank you.